Motion.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes approved. Sam?
Yes, sir.
You got it again today? Okay.
Another easy one for y'all tonight. We got
Right.
condemnation at 2420 14th Street. Let's see here. The owner is contacted and aware that we are bringing this to council tonight. He isn't going to be there. He's not going to appeal y'all's decision. What we'd like to do is go ahead and get it in condemnation because the owner's, he has a contract to close on it that's going to take place in a couple weeks. And once he closes on it, he is going to demo the house. So what we want to do is just have a contingency in place in case something falls through or there's an issue with the sale. Yes, sir.
He's gonna pay for it, right?
Yes, sir. He wants to
Okay.
demo it himself.
Okay.
So we just kind of want to get the ball rolling in case things always change. So that way, in case the deal falls apart, we can go ahead and get it going for
What
condemnation.
district is it?
District 4. It's over there on
Four.
Old Greensboro.
What's the address again?
It is 2420 14th Street.
Let me look at that again, please. 2420.
Got a bunch of old crappy houses.
It's kind of behind
What is it? I'm not sure. about it.
I wish we had an aerial shot. It's
Right beside Duckworth.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Is owned. Okay. All right. So we're gonna condemn it. He's selling it and tearing it down.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Huh?
The new owner's
Put up a
going to tear it
bar.
down once that contract sale goes through.
How, when we approve that tonight to condemn it, then how long does he actually have to?
So I believe it's 45 days. Is that right, Barry?
He's
Process.
supposed to tear it down before the end of July.
So we're going to kind of work with him on that, just to, but in case something changes, then we will have the condemnation paperwork started to go ahead and tear it down.
Is that
It
close
costs
to,
you a lot of
is
money.
that close to the Swain house?
No,
Next to
no, that's across,
Double Morrison.
that's across from the old Friedman Library.
Oh, yeah.
Back in there.
But it's not where you can see it from, it's on 14th Street.
Yeah.
And 14th Street, I think, is a one-block street right there.
Yes, sir. It is a
It dead
very
ends
small
because
street.
it hits Lurleen Wallace, so nobody ever goes
It
down there.
would cost you more to fix it up and
Yeah.
tear it every word.
Okay.
Yeah, the hole in the roof was the big issue for us, and the paint's already peeling. Another minor. I mean, someone could fix it, but I think
Well, I
it's,
can imagine what's inside.
yeah, that too.
We've been taking photos of it since December of '22.
Yes, sir. My boss Virgil has been keeping tabs on it. We just filed the paperwork back in April, or I think it was May actually. We got that going, so updated it and talked with the owner. So
That's all you had today?
yes, sir. That's it.
All right, thank you. Barry, it's good to see you.
Yeah.
We thought you forgot where we were.
Just relocated.
Hey, Bruce.
Remember?
I don't have anything, but we do have one item for executive session.
Okey-dokey. Anybody have any comments in department heads or announcements from council? Any time? Okay, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, council.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Tyner, I know you've been following the College World Series. I thought maybe you'd have the game on one of these.
I should. I love it.
I will start on the first page there under unfinished business, where you'll be repealing prior resolutions establishing a public arts committee and a public art guidelines to establish a public arts advisory committee. This came through admin on May the 14th. I know there's been some discussion today that there may be a motion to withdraw this and send it back to committee for further discussion. On page 11, you'll be authorizing a contract with O'Connor Art Studios, LLC for a public art display. This is a total of $332,650 and came from Projects Committee on the 11th. On page 12, you'll be authorizing professional services contract with TotalCom Inc. for professional marketing services. This is a total of $75,000 and came to you in Projects on the 11th. On page 13, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with Vetro Inc. This is a total of $22,000 and came to you in Projects on the 11th. On page 14, you'll be authorizing a funding agreement with Benjamin Barnes YMCA. This is a total not to not to exceed $270,000, and again came from projects on the 11th. On page 15, you'll be authorizing minor public works contract with Ryan Metal Works, Inc. This is a total of $2,825 and came to you in projects on the 11th. On page 16, you'll be authorizing minor public works contract with Scales Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. This is a total of $2,490 and again came to you from projects on the 11th. On page 17, you'll be authorizing a contract for professional engineering and related services with Krebs Engineering, Inc. This is a total of $66,740 and came to you in projects on the 11th. On page 18, you'll be authorizing a professional services contract with Ward Scott Morris Architecture for architectural and related services. This is a total not to exceed $164,750 and came to you in projects on the 11th. On page 19, you'll be authorizing disbursement from District 7 improvement funds for the Ivy Foundation. This is a total of $2,500 and again came to you from projects on the 11th. On page 20, you'll be authorizing the use of electronic vote counting system. This is one of a number of housekeeping items related to the called special election that came off of last week's agenda. On page 21, you'll be appointing Haley Abbott to assist the absentee election manager in the performance of duties related to the 2024 ad valorem school tax election. On page 22 and 23, you'll be adopting amendment number 2 to the fiscal year 2024 general fund reserve for future improvements fund budget. This came to you in finance last week. On page 24 and 25, you'll be introducing zoning amendment 1528, rezoning approximately 1.86 acres located at and around 8600 Highway 69 South from R1 to BN. This came to you from the Planning Commission. On page 26, and that's actually just introduction for tonight. Later in the agenda, you'll be setting a public hearing for next month. On page 26, you'll be amending ordinance number 9519, adopting amendment number 6 to the Elevate Tuscaloosa Fund budget. This item is doubled up and will be on finance today. On page 27, you'll be amending ordinance number 7474, establishing rates for franchised ambulance service. This was discussed with you in public safety last week. On page 28 through 44, you'll be granting a non-exclusive franchise agreement to Crown Castle Fiber LLC. Its successors are assigns. This is to maintain a telecommunications system within the corporate limits of the city of Tuscaloosa. This also came to you in public safety last week. On page 45, you'll be setting compensation for municipal election workers for the city of Tuscaloosa. This again is one of the miscellaneous items for the election. On page 46, you'll be establishing poll hours for that election. On page 47, you'll be setting July 16th, 2024 as the date for the public hearing to consider the zoning amendment that you introduced above. Are there any questions for me?
I have two questions, Scott, concerning the election.
Yes.
Is it gonna be the same all the same polling places as the municipal election?
Yes, sir. It will be all the same as I believe, as our last municipal election. We were able to pin some of those down sort of at the last minute, but all the ones that were listed in the ordinance that was passed last week, and we can get those to you.
So could we get a 5-minute brief during pre-council next week or the week after on just what the setup is for that election? How are we voting? How is absentee voting being permitted and counted? Or is there any for a tax election?
Yes, sir. That's all established in the ordinance y'all passed last week. We can go over it with you in pre-council.
Yeah, just 5 minutes. Here's what the deal is.
Yes, sir.
In general, it's the same scenario. Go to the same places, walk in, mark a ballot, stick it in a machine.
It is
leave.
pretty much exactly the same, except for everybody has one question that says yes or no.
Okay, and then is there an absentee ballot provision?
Yes, sir. And all those line
Then
up
just a
exactly the same.
5-minute brief on
Yes, sir.
anything that's different.
Yes, sir.
And the second question was, I think Carly answered it really for me, but the cost of the election, around
88,000, wasn't it?
80.
There's a budget revision on the finance committee agenda today for that, to set that budget line item for the clerk's office to be able to move forward with contracts.
Got you.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Scott. And by the way, your son is very cool.
Thank you.
All right, projects, finance, admin, community development, Raven's not gonna be here all day, till council. Matthew, I'm not sure what time he's coming, so I've got to go to the vet in just a minute, and I'm gonna do my best to get back as fast as I can. So everybody look at your committees and see if you're, see if you're an alternate or anything today, so we can have the meetings.
Is Matthew coming for committee meeting?
He just said that he was,
Said he hoped to be before the end of
You
the
got, you
process.
got me bigger.
he's
I bet he'll be a fine.
he's at something,
Birmingham,
yeah, Lakeshore Foundation.
yeah, on some committee, so.
He sent me the agenda on it, so I don't know if he'll be back or not. So everybody just, if you're like me, I had to double check what I'm on, as far as alternates and that type of thing.
Two people can agree.
Can you break a tie?
You break ties with me.
I
He voted, he's not supposed to.
That's right.
We could.
figured I've been down here long enough, I can vote whenever I want
I'm a little rusty, but I can try.
to.
Who are we to stop you?
That's
How,
right.
how many have you broken?
3 or 4 maybe?
I remember one.
Yeah. One veto. So
Yeah.
One veto and 3 or 4. I don't get much action. I don't do much.
So you don't get no right action.
Yeah.
I remember going back.
Careful, somebody will make a
Going
campaign.
back. I remember the one veto from Mayor DuPont. That was, I think the whole chambers went, ooh. You know, because he had never done that before, ever.
But it doesn't occur in council, right? Don't you?
No, it was
Did
council.
you announce it?
Oh, I thought you do it afterwards.
No, there's actually a place, I think, on the.
Yeah,
thing
on the
where-
agenda.
Yeah, the clerk reports out the mayor's veto. So,
That could be a fun night.
That was fun.
You could show us how that works.
If the council, would the council vote like then, if they want to try to override it, all that happen right then?
no, I think,
That'd be the next meeting.
I think it's the next meeting. It's so rare we have this.
That was a big one
We should-
with
we should test.
Mayor Duke was over Central's location.
I think actually you have to know, you have to do it that meeting, right? Because you have only 5 days, the council has 5 days to override the mayor's veto.
I believe with no experience to go on, that your veto would happen after the vote when you would otherwise be approving the ordinance of a generation or permanent operation. The clerk would report it out at the next meeting, and I'm not sure exactly when the attempt to override the veto would happen. I will have to research that if we get there. More me tonight if that's where we're headed.
Because they read that subject to mayoral veto, the hearing.
Al played it out.
He sure did.
What happened?
It was the
It
Central
was-
location.
It was this the city was gonna donate the Springer property where we built all the houses. The city was gonna donate that. The city council actually voted to donate that property to the school board. And then,
Was that when they were looking to build a school?
yes, and then Al,
The new central.
the new central, and then Al vetoed it.
It was 4-3, right?
It was 4-3 past the council, and then Al basically killed it. And that's why Central was rebuilt on the central.
On the same side.
On the same side. And now we
That's
have.
I'm glad.
what I voted for.
Of course, I wish Tuscaloosa High School
Pretty,
still.
Me
pretty
too.
polarizing.
Me too.
Very
There
polarized.
wasn't nothing wrong with it.
I remember being glad it was, when it was over,
Oh, it
being
was,
over.
it was ugly.
It was bad,
I mean, it was really bad that night.
yeah.
I had some people come up and say some things to
That was
me.
your first term.
Did you go west?
I'm going like,
Wow.
I was like, I was hoping to have to recuse because I worked for the school board. So I got an opinion, hopefully they were to say, I was hoping Bob Ennis would say, well, you can't vote on this, but since it had no monetary effect.
well, then it would have been, if it hadn't been a tie.
Then people would say you chickened out of it.
How
I
did
mean,
you, how did you vote?
I voted for it because that's what the council member for the districts wanted.
What about you?
I voted against it.
You voted against?
But, for me, I mean, it wasn't, for me and Kip, it really, it involved us, but I went with the district, but I understood both sides. I mean, it was really a tough issue.
It was, and
And the school board was divided too, correct?
School board was divided, but
Very
it
divided.
passed a resolution, I think, 4-3 or 5-2, whatever, it was very split.
What, and I'm ignorant here, what, how many votes did it take to override of it?
Weren't her and James against it?
5? Okay,
I can't
I
remember.
think so.
They were against
I'll
it.
keep that in mind.
That was a mess.
Yeah,
Well,
that was,
hopefully
We won't
was
be
it.
there.
it shows how good we've all worked together.
it was exciting.
That was bad drama,
Oh,
wasn't
DuPont loved it though. He was so proud of us.
God rest his soul.
I know, bless his heart. I thought about him on
I thought
D-Day.
Dr. Steele Charles Steele was gonna, that's the only time I thought I've ever seen him that angry. Boy, he was not happy that night with Mayor DuPont. Here, Mr. Taylor was.
Well, yeah, I know. And my whole thing was out of sight, out of mind. And I think if they pushed Central off down in the swamp, nobody would, and that's basically Moody Swamp.
Well, you know, now we're just building homes there. We're 54, I think 54 homes in the Springer property.
Yeah, see, it worked out best.
In the swamp, right?
In the swamp.
In the swamp.
Central High School in the swamp.
So that was part of the argument.
Yeah.
The mosquitoes, the size of bats and all this stuff was being told.
It got pretty ludicrous.
Well, you know,
on
and
both
even
sides.
then, the students at Central wanted to keep it there so bad, they went out of class and marched to the city school board saying, keep our school here. You remember that?
What year was that? Was that 20 years ago?
And what made that day even worse was Dr. Levy was out of town and I was the administrator in charge. I thought, good Lord, what have I gotten myself? You know, the one day Dr. Levy goes out of town, here I am, the administrator in charge, and we have students walk out of a high school.
And that was your first term on the council.
That was my first term on the council. Yeah, I learned,
Memories.
I got thrown into the deep end of the pool.
Great memories, right?
I loved it.
Now they are.
Good cocktail stories now.
Oh, yeah.
Now they are.
Hey, we didn't have Facebook then either.
Oh, yeah. You know, by the way, you know who was the lead marcher? Raven Howe.
Oh, really?
Sure was. Raven was part of the school. Junior or senior, that's how I got to know Bobby.
Was
'cause
Bobby on the council?
Bobby, he wasn't on the council, but he was very active.
He had run 2 or 3 times.
And so he was against it, and I think, you know, so it's
Joe Powell was 7.
me, Joe, Harrison, and Coach voted for it. And I think you, Jerry, and Lee. No, it was me, Lee, Harrison, and Coach.
Yeah, and me and Jerry and
Voted
Joe
for it?
Powell voted against
Yeah.
it.
Wow.
So,
All right. Okay,
sorry.
Little history
All-
on.
Little history lesson.
Little history lesson on
The
Facebook.
first chapter of the.
Anybody awake? Y'all wake
book.
up.
That's right.
hey, it was fun. City Hall will be closed Juneteenth on Wednesday, and so if you have trash, recycling, garbage pickup on Wednesday, which is
Or Thursday.
on my route,
Thursday's
then
mine.
it'll be Thursday pickup.
Friday.
It'll be Thursday.
Thursday,
yours will be Friday. And then City Hall will close at 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock on Tuesday.
Today.
Before.
So we need y'all to get
Today.
this done. We need y'all to hurry up.
We may not have
I'm
enough
for
for a
it.
committee meeting anyway, so. Yeah.
I turned down 2 tickets to Rickwood Field tonight, so we need,
Oh man,
everybody should be here.
that'd be unbelievable to go there.
Well, I wish I was there.
Major League games Thursday night?
Yeah.
That's really phenomenal that Birmingham's doing that.
It is.
That is awesome.
Personnel Board will meet this Thursday, ZBA Monday. There's something involving everybody's district at this ZBA meeting. By the way, you may want to check the agenda if you haven't already. Then are we still scheduled for the public hearing on the 25th as of right now?
Mr. Tyner, currently we are still scheduled. We understand that Mr. Buggs, we've heard, intends to surrender his license. If he does that prior to the end of this week, we will issue the new meetings notice and show that meeting is canceled if it's approved by council.
Okay, all righty. Thank you. Okay, is there a motion we go into executive session?
So moved. Second.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. As your city attorney and attorney licensed to practice law in the state of Alabama, I can certify that this executive session is to discuss preliminary negotiations involving matters of trade or commerce in which the governmental body is in competition with private individuals or entities or other governmental bodies in Alabama, the state, or foreign nations, the discussions of which would have a detrimental effect upon the competitive position of a party to the negotiations or upon the location, retention, expansion, or upgrading of a public employee or business entity in the area served by the governmental body if disclosed outside of executive session.
Okay, we have a motion second, to go to executive session. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? All right.